Democrats are desperate to sucker you people into voting for them, and they're bringing out everybody to consider supporting Joe Biden. And why? Hey, look, it's AOC and Bernie the Cuck Sanders. AOC Sanders' renewed fight for the Green New Deal for public housing. Backed by dozens of progressive groups and congressional Democrats, U.S. Representative AOC and Bernie Sanders on Thursday reintroduced legislation designed to tackle both the affordable housing crisis and climate emergency. Well, isn't that special? Hey, guys, why did it fail so many times? Because the corporate Democrats don't give a damn. But they know because it's all performance. The New York Democrat and Vermont Independent are leading the renewed fight for the Green New Deal for Public Housing Act, which would invest up to $234 billion over a decade into weatherizing, electrifying, and modernizing our public housing. Really? So that it may serve as a model of efficiency, sustainability, and resiliency for the rest of the nation. AOC noted that years of grassroots organizing on behalf of vulnerable Americans led to the creation of the first federal public housing units, but for decades, the federal government has allowed our limited public housing stock to fall into disrepair because they don't give a damn about the people, AOC. Residents are dealing with mold growth, lead-based paint hazards, lack of central cooling and heating, failing water infrastructure, and numerous other safety concerns, the Congresswoman said. It is beyond time for the federal government to take responsibility and pass legislation that offers comprehensive public solutions. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to, because who's also stopping this? It's not just Republicans. It's also corporate Democrats. You think she's going to do, and look, this is like an idea, like Green New Deal network, right? We have seen our counterparts everywhere from Vienna to Singapore engage in truly revolutionary public and social housing policies that have bettered the lives of working class people. And while in theory, this image does look nice, and I'm just going to share it in this tab right here. Look at this. Doesn't this look nice? It's all generated. It looks friendly. It looks so beautiful. But they're not going to let us live in a world like this. They're going to let us live in a world like Judge Dredd. You know, all the mega structures. They're not going to give us public parks. They're going to give us concrete jungles. That's what they're going to give us. The Green New Deal for Public Housing Act will allow an increase in public housing units to create an estimated 208,000 jobs and invest up to $23 billion a year over 10 years for highly energy efficient development, she explained. This will produce on-site renewable energy, expand workforce capacity, and focus on community development. Every American deserves a life in a safe, vibrant, environmentally conscious community, including public housing residents. I am confident this legislation is how we make that into a reality. But it's going to die on the vine. It died on the vine. Shout out to my Sopranos people out there. You know what I'm talking about. It died on the vine. The jobs estimate comes from an analysis released Thursday by the Climate and Community Project and the Socio-Spatial Climate Collaborative. That's a stupid name. Which also found that the proposed upgrades to U.S. public housing stock would cut carbon emissions by 5.7 million metric tons, the equivalent of taking 1.26 million cars off the road each year. Okay. Right now, here's the thing. Can people afford housing? That's the thing. What about wages? Can people afford to even live in these fantastic mythical buildings? Probably not. Public housing is an essential source of stable, affordable housing for 1.7 million Americans, and our research shows we're rapidly losing units to conversions, demolitions, and deterioration, said Keira McDonald of Climate and Community Project. This legislation would consider decisive action to stave off this loss and transform living conditions for public housing residents. In doing so, it would improve residents' health, safety, help eliminate carbon emissions, and help build the new green industries we need to decarbonize. So all of this is to sucker in people to get ready to vote for the Democrats. And here, let's watch this.
This is what policy making is supposed to look like, y'all. It's not just about us coming here as individual representatives, elected officials, doing this work on our own. We have to do this work in conjunction, in collaboration, and in alignment with people who have been doing this work their entire lives. So thank you for your organizing, for your love, and for your leadership. Housing is a human right. Fight! Housing is a human right. Fight! The rent is too damn high, y'all.
How dare you say that? That was not you who came up with that. Don't you dare. See, Democrats got to co-op everything that's nice.
been too damn high for decades. I lived in public housing. I lived and was raised in public housing and rent-controlled apartments. The minute a state law changed, my mother had to move out and lose her two-bedroom apartment and moved into a studio apartment in recently gentrified South Bronx, New York. And that is the story of millions of people across the country. And my mother was lucky enough to be a union worker for the post office for 33 years. So she had a good enough pension to keep her in that studio apartment. But how many people aren't so lucky and aren't so fortunate and have been left behind by our elected officials for far too long? Too many. And that's why we have this unhoused crisis all over this country. It is plantation capitalism to have someone paying 40, 50, 60% of their salary towards rent.
I'm glad he brought that up. Today's Friday, and tomorrow will be Saturday. So this clip will probably come out Saturday morning. And I just want to remind everybody, just want to remind all you beautiful, lovely, outstanding people that tomorrow, March 3rd, Saturday, Jamal Bowman and AOC, along with, hey, look at that, Cal Penn. Look at him. Remember him? They're going to be doing like a little fundraiser. A fundraiser to reelect Bowman, right? GOP mega donors are trying to run me out. That's what they're trying to do. Trying to run out the squad. And I talked about this on yesterday's show. Hey, you know what they're asking for tickets? Just so all of you can see. First of all, starting from the bottom, early bird special, limited tickets available, $30 to show up. If you want to be a guest, $50. If you want to be an ally, $100, and you get one free drink ticket for beer, house cocktail, or wine. Already, $30 is pretty expensive. That's 3 Hamiltons or 1 Andrew Jackson and a Hamilton, or 1 Hamilton and 4 Lincolns. You know what I'm saying, anyways. Then there's $50 for a guest, $100. Hold on, $250 if you want to be a patron, 2 free drink tickets for beer, house cocktail, or wine. Oh my goodness! If you want to be a friend, $500, 3 free drink tickets for beer, house cocktail, or wine. Those must be very expensive drinks. If you want to be a hero, who doesn't want to be a hero? $1,000 for very VIP reception. Very VIP. Max out, get that very VIP reception. Again, you repeat the same thing, not once, but 3 times. $3,300 each, and double max. Double penetration. I mean, double max. What? Again, another VIP reception, $6,600. What's the difference between the 3? You get hero, max out, and double. Like, who's going to come here? Who's going to come to your event? The very same people that are gentrifying New York City. These are the people who can afford this. Okay? And yet, the Democrats not only are asking you to help them, because we're not going to play the rest of that video, because this is starting to get nuts. They're dusting out Bernie Sanders and AOC, the suckering people and thinking that the Green New Deal is for public housing is going to convince Joe Biden that we got to do it. But yet they're asking again for money, even though we needed them for help way early on for other stuff. But they're not there. Look at that. All this for tickets to help reelect Jamal Bowman and AOC. Don't get suckered. That's a lesson from Hard Lens Media today, folks. Don't get suckered in by these people. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. For the love of God, don't fall for it. I thought we were past this, but I guess, I'm sorry. I guess I was wrong. I was incorrect. So here we are once again. And I just want to give the final word to Bad Cookies. My sanity thanks you for not playing the rest of that kit. That shite was pissing me off, as it should. And Yee Chambers, hey, you keep it family friendly here. This is a family friendly show. All right? Okay? I thought I couldn't stomach Bernie and AOC. My list continues to grow, as it should. Let's see. And by the way, how are they fighting against APAC? That's a very good question, Sherry Wise. That's a very good question. So the final takeaway from this is that when you look at how this election, especially for the upcoming DNC conventions playing out, they want to get enough people to still support Joe Biden. Because if AOC and Bernie are doing all these fantastic progressive legislative policies right now this year, the question we need to ask them is, okay, let's say you all get reelected and your good friend Joe Biden gets elected. What are you going to do in 2025? Are you going to follow through with all these promises of a Green New Deal for housing, Green New Deal for climate change, Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness? I mean, what are you going to do to follow through with building a better future? Because if it's just going to be nothing but a far in the wind, then why should we stick our necks out for you people when we've asked you for the past 3 years to do something and you didn't lift a finger? Don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the trap that, especially when Bernie launches his fantastic podcast. Don't get suckered in on it. It's designed to trick you, to trick you, to trick you. Don't fall for the trap. Don't do it.